Hey, welcome back to the Natty News Daily podcast. We are here with, or I am here because I'm rolling solo with 2024 WNBF Lightweight World Champion Zebin Xu. How you doing, Zebin?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank you for having me here today. Um, yep.
Absolutely, man. So obviously, coming off a big win in what I'd say was a very, very stacked class. Stacked and I think about 15 guys or so. I got to see you in person in Boston, and it was crazy seeing you duke it out with Dirk, and it, I, it was hard to say which way it was going to go. But yeah, you came out on top, and yeah. So why don't you give before we get into that? Why don't you give a brief introduction? Excuse me, of yourself, who you are, where you live, where you're from, all that fun stuff, and then we'll get into some fun stuff.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Zebin. I'm currently living in Seattle as a software engineer. I've been living in
Fellow
the,
engineer, you're
yeah.
software, I'm mechanical, so
Yep. I've been living in Seattle for I think over 6 years now. Before then, I was having my degree in New York for 2 years, and then before then, I was coming from China. I grew up and I was born in China. Um, yeah, and I started competing in 2021, and yeah, and then I've done back like I've also competed in like 2022 and then took a year or two off in 2023 and started competing again in 2024.
okay. So your first season was 2021, you said
Yeah,
you
2021.
competed back-to-back years, and then in 2024 again. Um, so when did you move to the States for to New York originally? I'm guessing about 8 years ago or so. You said you've been in Seattle for six.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay, so you've been in the States,
for
for a
eight
good
years.
bit of time. Were you bodybuilding while you were in China, or did you start while you were here, or a little bit lifting there, or what was it like?
I started working out in my third year of my college, which is from now, I think 10 years from now.
Okay,
So yeah,
in New
like
York.
I've been lifting for 2 years before I came to the States.
Okay, okay. So you lifted 2 years before you came to the States, and then came to the States, and then got really into bodybuilding a few years in. Where did you go to school in New York, by the way?
NYU.
NYU? Very nice, very nice. Yes, you've done the East Coast and the West Coast. You've done
Yeah.
the polar extremes.
Yeah.
So what was the I'm curious, what was the lifting scene? This dates back, we're dating ourselves here, 12 years ago. What was the lifting scene like in China compared to the States? I know it almost seems like it's completely different in the States now versus 10 years ago, but what was it like then? You know, what was the
Um, I was lifting in a gym near my school. It's just a commercial gym. Um, I mean, there was not as popular as now, I think. Uh, the bodybuilding
yeah.
like years ago. Um, yeah, I don't seem to remember much, but yeah, at that time, I was just, working out is just my hobby, and I just love working out as,
Sure.
as a gym rat.
So as you got into things, what was there did you get any pushback from family in China? Like why you put so much time into this lifting thing, or is what's that like?
Yeah,
'Cause
my
culturally it's a little, I'm not engrossed in it, no, but from what I can understand is pretty different, especially in regards to, how you spend your time and
I mean, my parents have been supported pretty much the whole time, although they did express like you shouldn't be living too heavy, it's that but um as soon as they realized that I'm really into this, as a I was, really have never really, stopped doing this. They have been really supportive.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, so, a little bit of early skepticism versus and then they eventually that's actually pretty similar to how I feel with my parents, so not too dissimilar. Um so obviously you went okay, so you started lifting while or lifting before, but really getting into bodybuilding while you were at NYU. What got you drew you into the bodybuilding scene? And maybe the natural bodybuilding scene, if that's two separate questions. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
It, I think it's just, before I first competed, I have been lifting for, I guess, how long was that? 7 years, 6, 7 years. And yeah, before then, I've really never thought about doing bodybuilding. I just enjoy working out. That's it. But I think it's just I think a couple friends in the gym has encouraged me to do bodybuilding. And I knew that there were some shows in Washington. The show that I only knew of that was the natural show was the NPC natural show. I didn't know about WNBF at that time, and and I knew that I would probably wouldn't win in a untested show. So I think natural show is a good start. So I decided to start, really prepping, following diets because I was never really I knew nothing about diets before I start, getting serious into bodybuilding. And I, just thought I would give it a try because, I've been lifting for 7 years. So might just, do it. So yeah.
How did you go about that? Did you find a coach or did you do some, quote unquote research on your own or and find some people on your own or
Yeah, I was originally planning to just do it on my own, but one of my friends recommended me just to find a coach because you're gonna, you know, don't waste time and make less mistakes if you have a coach. So I decided to find a coach, which is also my current coach. Been working with him since the beginning.
who do you work with?
Xu Guifeng.
Okay.
He's from Florida. He's living in Florida. He's also from China, and yeah.
Did you connect with him in person while you were in the States or because he's in Florida now? So,
Yeah, he mostly do online coaching, and he was famous. He's famous in Chinese social media because he is also a natural bodybuilder who got his pro card in IBB like 3 5 years ago, and he only coached natural bodybuilders. So, and I've seen a few of his clients doing pretty well, getting pretty shredded. And then I think yeah he might be a good one. So that's why I reached out to him.
it turned out pretty good because yeah, you've been still working with him to this day, so that's pretty cool. I
Yeah.
like to see, when guys, stick with coaches for a long time, and that speaks volumes, right, to both of you guys,
Mhm.
um,
Yeah.
what you've invested. And
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
okay, so how'd that first season go then? What was it like dipping your toes into the water the first time? You said that was on the West Coast at an NPC natural show.
So I my first ever show ended up being a IMBF show, WNBF IMBF show, because I was kind of ready a little bit. Like I kind of wanted to do a warm-up show before that original target, the NPC Natural Show. So and then I
Yep.
found that oh, there's actually another federation which is also doing natural bodybuilding, and it's very near where I live. The
That
North,
wasn't Washington State, was it?
not Washington State. It's called Northwest Royal in
Oh, okay. I've heard.
Bellevue, Washington. That
Yeah.
was like a few weeks before the NPC Natural, and that was my first ever show. And I competed there, and I did the men's physique and bodybuilding, and I won the men's physique, but there was only like five people, so even though I won, I you know
Didn't meet that minimum 8 person
yeah.
threshold. Yeah.
And then for bodybuilding, I won my class, and then in the overall, I was competing with Eddie, who was
Yeah.
a monster. And then he won his pro card there that year.
Eddie's a unit.
Yeah, yeah,
Eddie
absolutely.
Saldana, if anyone doesn't know who that is, we interviewed him a while back. But yeah, he's an absolute unit. So,
Yeah,
what was it like going up against Eddie? Was it like holy shit? How does this guy exist?
yeah. It's pretty amazing to see him, in person. Like, yeah, I, yeah, his I didn't think about, winning at the time, of course. We knew that I knew that I wasn't going to win, to be honest. But when I knew that he was competing, and yeah, yeah,
Cool, man. So then, after that show, you did was the NPC regional show. That was your
yep,
that was right after.
yes. That I think that's 2 weeks later. The NPC, what is it called? It was called NPC Iron Man. But now I think it's renamed to NPC Northwest Natural.
Okay.
Yeah, I did I did three categories: men's physique, classic physique, bodybuilding, and and I won all of them. Which yeah, was totally unexpected.
That's wow. Yeah, that's not a bad way to, start your season in general and then start in the APC. So, did you shut your season down there? Or did that because that wouldn't would it qualify you for nationals or? But then again, it's yeah.
Yeah, I ended up competing in another show, which is the Washington State
Okay, you
Natural.
did do the Washington State
I
thing.
did I did that, but I didn't I did won my class in bodybuilding, but I didn't win in the overall. And I think I was not in a good stay in that show because it was my third show, and then I think I got some. Yeah, on the peak week I was there was some incident, like I had a stomach ache. I thought I wasn't going to be competing, and then I think that kind of messed up my carb loading. I think I was looking pretty flat in that show. And also because it's my third show, so it's just
You kind of run down by that point.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. But you shut it down and that I assume you shut it down after that then.
Yeah.
So then coming out of that season, what when you reflected, NPC, WNBF, what were your kind of thoughts there? Because I know you've competed in both orgs since. Um, what were your, impressions of the organizations?
So in 2021, when I competed in the NPC Natural, they actually didn't do any testing, not any polygraph. So
That's not good.
and and I was com and I knew that WNBF do more better testing. So I think my main focus at the time was really to become a pro in WNBF. That leads me to my 2022 season, and my main focus was there to compete in the what show did I did? Oh, I ended up doing a show in Fresno, California, because I was ready a bit earlier. So I went there and
Was that
won my.
one of Bob's shows?
Sorry, what was
Was
that?
that one of Bob Bell's shows?
No,
Or
it's
was it
not.
okay? Wasn't WNBF?
It's
Or it
WNBF, but
was
it's
WNBF.
yeah,
Okay.
it's not. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's not Bob's show. So it's
Okay.
a yeah.
Gotcha. And how'd that show go in 2022?
Yeah, I won my pro card there. So yeah, there was also a monster in the heavyweight class that I competed with in the overall. But I think I ended up being more conditioned than him. And yeah, yeah,
You've competed against some killers, man.
yeah, that yeah.
Every
Like
show I feel like even you know even going into worlds like you've been consistently competing with just killers.
yeah, yeah.
So you won your pro card that year. So where did you take the rest of the year then? Did you make your pro debut that year? Did you um where else did you compete?
Oh, yeah. And then later I went to the I didn't do my pro debut.
Gotcha.
I ended up doing the what is that called? The bandwidth because I was qualified the year before,
From the
right?
year before. Yep.
Qualified to compete in the bandwidth. Again, when I competed in bandwidth, I have that was like 1.5 month after my first show. And I think I also was pretty flat in that show. I I won my I competed in bodybuilding and classic physique. Um, I won my bodybuilding class, but then going into the overall, it was too flat and small. So I don't of course I didn't win. And classic physique I got second place in the class.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then coming out of that season, obviously you attained the pro card in the WNBF. But it sounds like you might have had a bit of unfinished business at the Ben Weeder. What was your thoughts coming out of that season? And as we talked about, you took 2 years between that and your next season. So what were your thoughts coming out of that season
Yeah, definitely I wanted to compete. So I had a definitely competing in a WNBF Pro Show and going to World is one of my checklists. So I want to do that. Um, and I knew that I wasn't ready for that, so I took a year off in 2023 to build more muscle. And
and this is this hyper productive time that we were talking about earlier, which I think I have your Instagram, so I'm gonna pull that up.
yeah,
We'll transition to that topic. You can continue. I'll just share.
yeah, um, yeah. I know. Just looking back, yes, you look productive. And if you ask me how, and like, I think technically, yes, I was around maybe 8 pounds heavier. Um, you know, in 2024 compared to 2022. Um, um, yeah, yeah, this was the comparison. Um,
It's a new man.
yeah,
So you said 8 to 10 pounds difference, and conditioning wise looks very similar.
yeah, I think it might be better or at least not worse. But yeah, I think it's very hard to do an apple to apple comparison because yes, visually you can compare the condition, but there's water, there's a lot of thing. There's also like depending on how you cut down, right? Maybe you lose less muscle,
Yeah.
right? So but I think maybe the safest thing to say is like how much muscle I retained. between the two.
Yeah.
Uh,
And you said, even in both seasons prior, you were a little bit run down by the end, and then running a little flat. So, what did you do maybe differently in 2024 compared to the prior seasons?
yeah, I think this year uh I was ready early, but I didn't make I think I bumped the calorie after my condition and everything was ready.
Okay.
So I think that helped a lot. I was eating much more after, yeah, I was stage ready.
So for you getting into condition and then okay, let's really harden this look up and fill the tank a little bit
Yeah, yeah, I think
rather
that
than
helped.
continue to dig. So where did you start your season last year?
Where in the Washington State Natural in October. Yeah, this show.
That was there.
Yeah, October the yeah.
So
And
with
I was
that you did, you won the pro class there, right? So that right?
yeah.
So what were your expectations going into Washington State Natural as your pro debut then?
My
And I jumped the gun
expectation
a
was
yeah.
I think yeah, I mean to be honest, my expectation was to win, of course. And because at that point I knew that I made a lot of improvements, so I just thought that yeah, I just want to compete and to demonstrate the best version of myself and of course to win. Yeah.
Cool. So you accomplished that. So how did that feel? And then what was next and what were the next objectives and next shows you did?
Yeah, I definitely feel extremely happy because also my coach went to support me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and definitely felt different because I realized how like my pumping up was not sufficient in the past. Like I wasn't doing enough, and I think I learned a lot. You know, um, and yeah, a lot of the backstage experience from this show. A lot of the yeah, peaking and everything. Um, and then I think, as I mentioned, my goal was to compete in worlds, and I think that was still 1.5 months away after this show. And originally, I was planning to just wait for the worlds, right? But at the same time, I feel like, oh, I was already stage ready.
Ready?
Might
Yeah.
might just jump into a show for fun. And I actually decided to go to a NPC show. Um, Literally in the last week, like, decided to let's do that.
Was that this here?
Yes, the NPC Northwest Championship. Because this is also part of the same promoter of the NPC Ironman that I competed in 2 years ago, and I know that they had very good stage lighting. So I think one thing I can get some good stage photos. Second,
That's
I
a
kind
big thing for us guys, right?
it's I think is one of the most important thing you've been working for half a year, it, all that matters is the final look, right? And then I think the photo is what you can persist that look.
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. And it's also been one of my to-do lists to just stand against the big guys, the big boys. Never done that before, so thought it might be fun. And I also didn't want to disrupt my my prep to the world. So I didn't do any special peaking for this show. I just I just eat on my normal low carb day, and then I think I just had two refeed days
A
before I
refeed, yeah.
went to this show. Yeah. And when you're already stage ready, sometimes it feels like peaking is not that essential. Like it doesn't, matter too much.
Hmm.
Sounds like. So, um, yeah.
So how'd that show go for you? What was that like for you?
Yeah, I competed in the bodybuilding and classic physique, and I won this too, which which was also unexpected to me, especially bodybuilding, because
You won the overall.
I won the overall.
Damn.
I I was probably one of the smallest guy in the overall, and yeah, I wasn't expecting. I thought that maybe I have a chance to win the classic physique, but I didn't expect that I would win the bodybuilding
The
overall.
thing with getting on a stage with good lighting is that it favors guys that are that are really in condition, right? So I'm guessing that that gave you a big edge. Stepping on a stage with good lighting and in good shape, right? That's really gonna lend to
Yeah,
your favor, I would think, versus it being kind of a silhouette battle.
yeah, that's probably because I think I was one of most conditioned, yeah, on the stage. So
So you're coming off two back-to-back wins then, huh?
yeah.
Or three wins because you won both the classic and the. So what was that like? Did that light anything in your mind? Like maybe I can do more in the untested organizations, or what was the thoughts with that? Obviously, you had Worlds next, but
Um, no, I was just I just really want to stand on the world stage. I didn't think too much about that, to be honest. Um, I did. Oh wait, I did actually. So the reason I competed in this NPC regional show, there are two purposes. I think there are. I talked about two purposes. One is to get good photos.
yep.
Second is to compete with the big boy. Third is that if I ended up wanting to compete in national, this get me qualified. So I did have a plan to do national afterwards, but I think I ended up not doing it in the end.
Nationals was after Worlds, you said, right?
Afterwards, yeah, it's in December, so
Gotcha. After Thanksgiving, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um, so obviously, it sounds like I think Worlds was your next show after this then, right?
yep.
So let's you know cover that and talk about your Worlds experience. What was it like? How are you feeling going into Worlds? What was your travel trip like? Preparing for it. Did you do anything with weight to make weight, or to try to make weight? Because I know that the cutoffs were kind of unknown to a certain degree. And what were your thoughts about matchups and lots of? I'm sure you had lots of those things going through your mind. So I'll let you just talk rather than me.
Yeah, I didn't try to do anything to make weight because I know that I'm very likely going to be the lightest weight class no matter what I do because I was like at around 155 pounds. And and I think the previous lightweight cutoff was around like 150, 160 pounds. So I think I'm far from those cutoffs that I don't have to worry about making weight for anything. Um yeah. Yeah, and going to show the world is really like I didn't have any expectation. I just think that that's, possibly one of the best natural body building stage you can step on. So it's just my goal was really just to step on the stage and do my best. That's really what I was thinking about. So I had very little stress about, I have to win or this or that. I think I didn't think about that. I was thinking, yeah, if I have the opportunity to, stand next to like Dirk, that would be just awesome. Um,
Okay, find any photos from the Worlds.
yeah, there's probably some in the
Here's
yeah,
a
yeah,
nice video clip.
yep.
Yeah, I mean, you guys looked insane, and that was a big class. So, what was that like stepping on stage next to Dirk? How did you feel going up against Dirk?
Yeah,
They get moved to the middle pretty quickly, right next to him.
it was amazing. I mean, I actually think, both of us very close. I think it's at the end of the day, is, judges uh preference. I think he looked amazing. I, you know, I I actually don't know how the judge picked, but maybe I think probably it's just maybe I looked little bit fuller in some places, but he's also, extremely conditioned and yeah, I don't know. I actually don't know.
Yeah, I mean, from what I saw, so I watched you and I saw you. I think when I first, you guys first stepped on stage, and then I think there might have been some shuffling around, and then you end up in the middle with Dirk. Um, my eye was drawn to you first off. So I think you started off really good, really strong, and I had you over Dirk at the beginning. As the round progressed, I thought you kind of held your look, and Dirk got better as he posed. I don't know if Dirk, there's something with Dirk. He improved as the round went on because they had you on stage for a long time, and as you guys posed, Dirk definitely got better, and I think you held your look. So, like I said, I had you taking him like right out of the gate, right? But as the round went on, it was like, oh, this is like I don't know, it's close, right? So, have you heard that before, or
Yeah, I watched the Natty News
okay? So you watched this.
podcast
Let's talk
about that.
about
I
it. Okay,
think yeah, I think you mentioned that. Yeah. My best guess is maybe I won in the symmetry round, and then I think in the what is that called? The
the muscularity round.
ability round, maybe we're pretty close or something, He won a few poses, won a few poses, maybe. I don't know. Yeah.
I
I
think
think
that could be part of it. Because, yeah, like where I saw, like, okay, I think I have, like at the beginning of the round, especially, had you over Dirk is in that front relax where you spend a lot of time, obviously. Not you, but everyone spends a lot of time. And yeah, that silhouette and structure I thought was on you was fantastic. Um, so as what was it like posing for that long and, like I said, next to Dirk and was it nerve-wracking? Was it like just keep doing what you're doing and I'm sure it was exhausting.
yeah, I came prepared for that because in my first show in the Washington State Natural, uh I sweat a lot because that was also a very long symmetry round. And after that first show, I started to, practice more posing, like, and I think it's less exhausting in this show. Like, yeah, it's not
You were just ready to rock and roll. But still, that's a long posing round, even if you are prepared, right? Like,
yeah,
um,
I would try to do, like I would actually try to look at the judges. If they are not looking at me, then maybe I would do some, reset or something so that I don't have to hold the pose all the time. So I'll actually look at the judge. If they are
okay,
looking down, writing something, then I can do a reset so I don't have to hold the pose for too long.
That's
They were
true.
fun.
Yeah, you got to find your time to kind of breathe and relax just a little bit. Those little times,
Yeah,
especially when you like turn to the back, like time to breathe a little bit. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
cool, man. So, uh, when they were announcing winners, they're starting to announce fifth place, fourth place, third place. What was going through your mind at that time?
To be honest, nothing.
Did you think it was between you and Dirk? I guess going in.
Yes, I
Okay,
know
so
it
you
was.
knew it was between you and Dirk.
Mhm.
Okay, so it came down to two. What was yeah. Was you said not much going through your mind, like we'll see what happens? Or
Yeah,
what?
yeah. I didn't, like I said, I didn't expect winning. Like, I didn't have that. Yeah, I didn't have that thought going into the show. I just, um, but definitely hearing my name, like that definitely feel unreal. But yeah, I didn't, I didn't think about too much, to be honest.
Has it sunk in yet? 4 months later, 3 months later?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So what do you mean specifically?
Has it sunk in yet? Do you feel like it's sunk in yet? Like, holy shit, I won a world title?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Still feel unreal to me, but to be honest, I feel like a lot of this is luck.
I
Um,
don't know about that, but
it's luck. I always feel that I am blessed, to be honest. Like if you ask me if there's any specific thing I do to win, I don't know. Like I might just happen to, do the right thing.
I'm guessing you're quite diligent in your efforts, though.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, like a lot of times there's no like super crazy magical formulas. Like you eat your meals, you do your training, and you be attentive to that, and you improve your methodologies on that, and you sleep well, and
Yeah, just the basic. Yeah, just follow the basic and be consistent, I guess. Which I guess everyone who's competing is doing. So,
that's the formula, man.
yeah,
Um, so what was it like going into the overall? Obviously, you won your class, and then you get to step on stage with some some more heavy hitters.
yeah. Of course, at the time I was seeing Babacar, I knew that I was just going to have fun in the overall.
He's like an alien, man.
Yeah, he's from another world. Yeah,
Outrageous.
yeah, yeah,
Cool, man. Um, yeah, so that sounds like it was a phenomenal experience for you. What are your thoughts coming out of the season? Next steps, next goals. I've got a few things. So obviously, like, are you like, okay, can I win worlds in general now? And then I know that like since WNBF announced Classic, I know you kind of I saw a comment or something of yours like, maybe that'll be something cool. So what are your thoughts?
yeah. I did have some interest in classic, but I I heard that they're probably gonna limit the weight. So if I have to make weight for classic, I don't think I'm gonna do that. So I might just focus on bodybuilding. And I I look, ever since winning the class, I feel like maybe I'll have a chance to do better next time. If I really pay more attention to my off-season uh training diet, maybe I can grow more muscles, be more competitive in the overall. So yeah, I want to do that again in 2026. Hopefully it will be in Seattle that year. Um
Yeah, that would be great for you. And after doing the 8 to 10 pounds, like you said, there was some potential, water and things like that, and how flat you were, that sort of thing. But still, you 8 to 10 pounds is not nothing, and it's there's weight there, right? So, um, yeah, no reason that you couldn't do similarly and add substantial stage weight in another couple of years.
Yeah.
Um, so this year spent mostly in a surplus and ready to go after it again.
Yep. Yeah. You never know, right? And I think, yeah, that's also part of the reason why I love this because I am just curious about, how far can I go naturally? Where's my natural limit? Because, I thought I wouldn't be able to, like, yeah, gaining 8 pounds in 2 years is something that I would not have imagined if I didn't do this myself, right? Like, I thought maybe 2 or 3 pounds, but I did it. And I think, I did it without paying a lot of effort. Uh, Maybe I'm just lucky, but that's why I think that if I pay more efforts, if I maybe, you know, a little bit more serious, maybe I can make more improvements.
Take that
So
next leap. Yeah. Is it
yeah,
one of those things where if you showed a picture of yourself at Worlds this year or at the NPC show this year to yourself 10 years ago, what would your thoughts be?
this guy must not be natural. Yeah, and totally understand, that there's recently a lot of people calling that out, and
I was gonna
totally
say
understand.
you've leaned into that a little bit, huh?
Yeah, yeah,
Have
I think
you getting a lot of comments and votes and or comments and skepticism and criticism or accusations lately, huh?
yeah,
I know
yeah,
you've leaned into it. I can tell.
yeah, yeah. I actually for the past couple weeks been ignoring all those comments because
Has it got
you
overwhelming to this at this point?
yeah, it's just too much that I don't want to really pay too much attention. And those are compliments, although they might sound,
Yeah,
you know, harsh or whatever. Yeah, yeah,
yeah. So yeah, well, yeah. Beyond that, what was it like? Because you went that post you put up, and I think maybe I'll just share it. That I think you have a pin there. I think you went pretty viral, huh? What was
yeah.
I thought I had
The
a pin that had the view count. I was trying to find the view count. Did you get in the millions? I think.
I think it was what was that?
Is it this one?
No, not this
No, I was gonna
one.
say that one's not the one that went hyper viral. It's this one.
Yes.
Yeah. So that one, yeah, 600,000 views, and you've had a lot with in the tens of thousands plus. So, yeah, what's that like? It sounds like it's just been overwhelming, huh? With the comments. Did I lose you? I think I got you back here.
Sorry, is it me or
I got you now again.
okay, can you okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It went dark for a second, but yeah, we're close to the end. But yeah, curious what what it's like been like going viral like that, especially with like negative comments. You touched on it a little bit.
Yeah, initially I was, replying those comments because I was really trying to because I was really trying to let them know that you can do this naturally. Natural limit is higher than you originally thought. My original really purpose was really to let more people know this because I did this. And I know that I'm natural, but in the end, I just realized that you just can't have everyone agree with you. nobody can do this. Not even the president can do this. So just just let it be. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Awesome, man. I was actually going to ask you what a if you had a closing message, but I think that is actually the closing message, I think, for the show. So, um, like I said, Zebin, thanks for your time and for popping on and chatting about bodybuilding. I could talk bodybuilding all day. Where can people find you? Where, plug your stuff, plug your Instagram, socials, co if you do any coaching, anything you want, man.
Thank you. Yeah, I mostly just do the on the Instagram. So yeah. And the you want me
Yeah,
to
what's your handle?
XAXIAOVID 小vid. Yep.
Awesome, man. Like I said, appreciate you coming on and taking the time and to chat all things bodybuilding. So, like I said, appreciate it, and I'm sure we'll be chatting soon. But if you like this episode, leave a comment below. Do you think he's actually natural? And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, Dan.